Hey, what's up, guys? It's a said. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to talk about it. This movie that is coming out with Jay Z and a few others. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about all that because, like I said, it is their story. So who can tell it better than the ones that's living it? Okay. So if it's their story, then they tell it the way that they want to tell it. We got a lot of stories and just stories that's out there and we don't even question. We don't question it at all. So, guys, like I say, when it comes to this channel is not for everybody. In here, we're gonna eat the meat, spit out the bones, but we're gonna get to it right here. So, welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D, unapologetic. I see my girl is in the house, Starbucks lover. She says, "Welcome, everyone." So, guys, welcome to Real Talk. Can you hear me real good, Star? Let me know if you can hear me real good. Because, yes, I got a lot that I want to go ahead and talk about. I was trying to make a little video, but for some reason, I cannot make a video every time when I make it. I end up editing, but this right here, this is uncut and raw. Okay, thank you, thank you. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get on with all this right here. I don't know if you all saw the super teaser called The Book of Clarence. Now, there's a lot of controversy out there and I watched the super trailer. Now, like I said, each his own. It's their story. They tell it the way that they want to tell it. But a lot of people that is saying, it's blaspheming. You guys don't even know what blaspheming is. You guys really don't know what blaspheming is. Anything that we do something, they want to go ahead and demonize it. That is his story, his script. He tell it the way that he wanted. We got Hollywood told their story, and we didn't question it at all. Which we're gonna go ahead and talk about all this because, like I said, in here, this channel is not for everybody. It's not for everyone. If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. That's how I look at it. We got this picture that's been hanging on our grandmother's wall, our mama's wall. This Jesus, whatever he called his name, Ceasar Borgia. We've been having that picture on our wall for so long, still to this day. We got some of our parents still have those pictures on the wall and nothing question it. We go and Google how Jesus looked. The first thing that you're going to see is Ceasar Borgia. And if you only know who he was, which we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about all that right there. But like I said, you go and you run and spend all types of money to go to their concerts. Look at when Beyonce, she had a tour. I mean, people were spending their last paycheck. That's all you was talking about. Beyonce and her daughter. So we can do the entertaining part long as we being entertained or we going to be entertained, it's okay. But anytime when we attach something to our spirituality, then that's when everybody wants to go ahead and say, nail them to the cross. It's like we cannot go spirituality. Like I said, each his own. You chew whatever you want to chew and you spit out, you want to go ahead and spit it out. But to come out and say that it's blasphemy, that is his story. What I had read from some of the little clips, and let me see if I can go ahead and read a little bit of it, where it says the Book of Clarence. So that's the name of the movie called the Book of Clarence. And just the super tease, guys, just the super tease. Got our people sitting there ready to go ahead and roasting. If you keep watching, I'm you some should have knelt to the cross, who we should denounce, but we're not going to. We're not going to do that. But anytime when it got something to do, oh God, abomination. Now also got people that probably haven't opened up the Bible for years. Is a big old huge dust storm just to open up the Bible. Now we got people sitting there quoting scriptures. But why you didn't quote scriptures? Not evidence when pictures pregnant and all that, or all this other stuff that we seen our rappers doing. Where's the outcry? Where's the outcry for stuff like that? We're not going to talk about stuff like that. So you think that I'm here to put my foot on my brother's neck, just like our oppressors and they do? You on the wrong channel. You on the wrong channel, because I'm going to show you who put their foot on our neck, and we still idolizing these people. But let me read this point to you guys right quick, because like I say, this stuff right here, I mean, it makes me really emotional, because when it comes to our people, we have our pickers and our choosers. We call good evil and evil good. Now, like I said, when it comes to Jay-Z and all that secular stuff, no, I'm not into all this. But what I'm talking about right now is when our people do something long, when it's entertaining and all this other foolishness, they give them a pass. But the minute when we start talking about our spirituality and start waking up our people, then that's when we have a problem. But right here, it's called the Book of Clarence. Guys, you can go ahead and see the super teaser is all over the place. I'm not going to go ahead and play it on my channel, but it's all over the place. But this right here, it says the visionary filmmaker James Samuel, the Book of Clarence, is a bold new take on the timeless biblical era, streetwise, but down on his luck. So the story is dealing with someone, more like he was in the streets. And it says that Clarence, which his real name is Lakeith Stanfield, is struggling to find a better life for his family, fighting to free himself out of debt. Now tell me what's wrong with that. We got a lot of our people right now is trying to get out of debt, robbing Peter to pay Paul, thinking that you can build a solid foundation off of material possession. And I talk about it all the time. You cannot build a solid foundation off of material possession. That's like building a house on sinking sand. So what's wrong with that? This is his story. This is his testimony. This is his script. We got Hollywood been telling our story for years, decades, whitewashing everything with a lie. But we don't question nothing like that. We worship, we idolize stuff like that. And it also says cultivating by the power and the glory of the rising Messiah and his apostles. He risked everything to carve his own path to divine life and ultimately discovered that the redemption power of belief be his only way out. What's the problem? What's the outcry with all that? I don't understand, guys. Come on, make it make sense. And the film featured new music by James Samuel, Jay-Z, and more, written and directed by James Stewart, produced by James Samuel, and it's written and directed by James Samuel. Sean Carter, which that's Jay-Z, James Lasseter, and Tendo Nigel, Nagenda, executive producer Derek Gant, cast Lakeith Stanfield, Omar Shai, and Anna Dion. But like I say, guys, nothing wrong with that. That is their testimony. They tell it the way that they want to go ahead and tell it. We got a lot of stuff that we can go ahead and talk about, but we tend to go ahead and stick our nose into the sand. But let me go ahead on, because like I said, when it comes to our people, we have our pickers and our choosers. And like I said, in here, it's real talk. I'm going to call it just like it is. I ain't got time to go ahead and sugarcoat anything, because like I said, we have our pickers and our choosers, what we want to call good and what we want to go ahead and call evil. So let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and lower my screen down a little bit and see if you guys can see this right here. So this right here, I guess this guy, this first is James Clarence. He's playing as Clarence. And as you all know right here, the second right here, and his name is and I'm not France or Italian, so I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's Cesare Borgia. And guys, that's a long story when it comes to him, who he was, how they use his image to make the Messiah, with Leonardo da Vinci, and how they painted his picture white with a whitewash lie. But see, nobody questioned this, and I got this other picture right here where, this is the real picture of Yahshua. And you can go ahead and this can verify, because we already know that they walked among us. But now, and that was like in 6 BC to 770 AB. And then we have a whitewash, just the same copy, went ahead and whitewashed it and made it Jesus. And that's right here is 1769 to this present day. But ain't nobody questioning that. Nobody is not questioning nothing like that. How they took all these pictures out of those Ethiopia Bibles, and they went ahead and they whitewashed it all. And they made it like it was them. But no, we're not going to question nothing like that. But the minute when we do something, our own people, we want to sit there and we want to question it. But like I said, guys, and here's real talk. I can't compromise. I have to call it like it is. And now everybody, they wants to nail Jay-Z to the cross. But like I said, you guys, you pay lots of money to go see these people. Long as these people are entertaining you guys are buck dancing, you guys have no problem. You have no problem. Last week, you guys was lifting his wife up. Beyonce, every channel that you would go to, every YouTube channel you would go to, what you would see. Everybody went to Beyonce, went to her concert. But like I said, the minute when they start talking about their faith, their religion, or their belief, because I'm not really into religion anyway myself, because I believe religion is man-made. I consider myself as a believer. But when you start talking about your faith, then people, they want to question. It's like our own people. Our own people do the most. Our own people help these people do their job. Like I said, old master don't have to do anything. He don't have to say anything anymore. All he have to do is sit under the tree and just relax, because we are the ones that's doing it for him. Some of us don't even know how to even read a Bible, haven't even cracked open a Bible in a long time. Now, all of a sudden, just because Jay-Z and a couple of his friends or whoever made this movie, now all of a sudden, we know we quoting scriptures. We quoting scriptures. Come on, guys. One thing that I do know that the Most High God is not the altar of confusion, but of love, peace, and of a sound mind. But now, all of a sudden, we want to call it blasphemy. Blasphemy. How can you call it blasphemy when the ones that they put in your mind, in your subconscious, not even the real Messiah? But all of a sudden, you want to call it blasphemy. Don't you know that the Yahshua, he's walking amongst us. He's going to walk amongst us in the flesh. He's not popping out of the sky. The same ones that you pass by, the same ones that you frown on, the same ones that you call a nobody. You don't know who you are entertaining. You don't know who you refusing to give them a plate of food or give them money. Are you passing by them because you looking at them like they are bum? You don't know, because it's going to be a time where those same words going to come back at you, where the real Messiah going to say, when you didn't feed me, when you didn't visit me, and you're going to say, when was you in jail? When was you hungry? Whatever you do to the least of my children, you have done it to me. But yet we are quick there and call everything blasphemer. Like I said, we call good evil and evil good. And like I said, it just don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense at all. It's time for us to stop, and but like I said, when it comes to the story, what he did, I wish that, it wouldn't have been more of like comedy, or I wish it would have been more of the actual, movie. I wouldn't even wanted it in Rome. I would have, if I would have made the movie, I most likely would have made it right where it's supposed to be, right there in Africa. Don't you know that's where our history? Our history is, we have a history, believe it or not. I would have made it right there in Africa. And Africa is just only a tenth. The Most High God had given us dominion over the entire planet. But like I said, we are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. We just, like I said, when it comes to this part right here, I just have to go ahead and see the movie, like with the cigarette in the mouth. I guess that's his testimony. He was blind, but now he see. But I just wish, that even if he would have came and contact Ronna Dalton Jr., I would love Jay-Z and Ronna Dalton Jr. I would love to see all of them get together, and tell the story. Because guys, if you only know, if you really want to know, like I said, our history goes very, very deep. Very, very deep. And all the discoveries, everything, it leads right back to Africa. Everything, a lot of stuff, guys, that we was told to. Most of it was a whitewash lie. Our history goes very, very deep. They'll tell you you a thug, you a criminal, but yet they sit there and they try to take everything that you have. Look how you see right now, you see in Africa and all these other countries, trying to stay in Africa to take all these people resources. So like I said, all the minerals, the oils, everything, is in the motherland. But like I said, our history goes very, very deep. This right here is an Ethiopia picture of Haile Selassie. Guys, go and Google him. You'll see who he was. He was sitting on the throne of David. All this stuff is in Ethiopia. They even said that the Ark of Covenant is still in Ethiopia. Like I said, guys, it's a lot of stuff, and we got to, do our research, because if you think that these people going to hand it to you on a silver platter, then you gotta you for awaken, wide awaken. But right here, like I said, especially when it comes to King James, why did King James went ahead and revise the Bible? And like I said, when it comes to this picture right here of Jesus Christ, his name, like I said, is Ceasar Borgia, and I might pronounce the name wrong, but right here it says the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. He modeled for the image of new Jesus Christ, originally painted by Leonardo da Vinci. And this picture right here, nobody is saying, "Oh, let's go and take all these pictures of this white Jesus down because they had him as the Messiah." You go and you Google Jesus, this is who gonna pop up. But I don't see where our people are going and trying to shut all this stuff down. No, we're going to continue keeping this lie going. We're going to continue keeping this lie going, because what's right is right. Where's the outcry? You already know who he is now. You know that he was an illegitimate child of King Alexandra. And if you really read the story and see the history behind all this stuff, but yet this was in our home. This is who we was praying to. But now when our people finally at least trying to write their story, then we have a problem with it. We have a problem with it. I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. Like I said, everything that we had, our culture, our religion, everything that we had was stripped away from us. And now you seen that we got people that's waking up, telling their testimony, telling their story, at least trying to make it their own. Then what our people do? Crucify him, crucify him. Come on, guys, make it make sense. And look at this right here. Look at this picture right here. This is Queen Elizabeth. She had a brooch. Look at this brooch. A brooch on her clothes of a white angel putting his foot on a black person's neck. Do you see this? Do you see this? Go and Google. This is not nothing I made up. This is how these people see us. But see, stuff like this, we tend to sweep it under the rug. We don't talk about stuff like this. Only we going to call blaspheming and call them a liar and nail them to the cross when it's our own people. But stuff like this, nobody makes no videos on stuff like this of a white angel got his foot on our people neck and still to this day. And this is right here is supposed to be the Queen of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. But yet she's instoking racist behavior. Ain't nobody says nothing about that. Ain't nobody said how they went in Africa and colonized just about half of Africa, took everything, all the diamonds, the minerals, the artifacts, all sitting in the British museums. Nobody talks about stuff like that. No, the minute when we see our people, and the minute when we see our people do something, we want to sit there and help these people do their job. That's just to show you we are still asleep. Because if we was woke, we would see that all the stuff that they had taught us was nothing but a lie. Half of the stuff. That's why we have to learn how to rightfully divide the word of truth. We have to know what to chew and what to spit out. Because if it was up to them and we open up the Bible, we won't see ourselves nowhere in it. But we from Genesis to Revelation. Once you are woke, you will know it's talking about us. But if you sit there and you still allow these people to sit there and put in your subconscious that you was nothing but a slave, and that's it. You have nothing else to talk about, but you was a slave, but we was king and queens. We had empires. We had governments. Everything that you see that they are doing today is because of what they copied off of us. Everything, guys, existed back in Africa. Like I said, it was not even Africa. It was one big planet. We was told that everything was divided because of the Red Sea. Because they built a tall tower that was so high where it reached to the sky, and God confused them. No, a lot of stuff because of the titanic plates, because of years of landmass. That's how people were scattered abroad, guys. But we sitting there, we listening to these hocus pocus. That's what I call it. Hocus pocus stories. Jonah was swallowed by a fish. In 3 days, he was spit out. The only fish that Jonah was swallowed by was those whitewashed lies. And like I said, guys, and here it's real talk. I can't compromise. I cannot compromise. And then it was saying, oh, Jay-Z got a pass. All the stuff that Jay-Z did. We all got a pass. None of us sit there are righteous. We all have a pass. And who could tell a story better? This is a new song. And the reason why y'all ears are bleeding because you're so used to those whitewashed lies. So when somebody tell you the truth, you don't want to hear it because you guys are colonized with this European mind stinking. You got to sit there and shake that stuff off. And like I said, my channel is not for everybody. I speak truth. I stand on my truth. And I had to come live because if I would have made a video, I would have been picking it apart. But in here, like I said, this is real talk. A lot of stuff, guys, that we was taught, guys, that stuff, like I said, if you real how to rightfully divide the word of truth, you will see how they had this big burden on us. Our people are cursed. Our people, that's what they telling you, and you still believe in that lie today. But if the truth be told, the reason why our people sat there is in the position that they are in today is because their eyes was looking in the barrel of a gun. Our people eyes was looking in a barrel of a gun. Our people had bow arrows. We didn't have no guns and cannons and all this stuff. How they took our kindness came in saying they coming in as missionaries, coming in as peace. But that's how the angel does. The angel light comes in with kind words. These people going to tell you what you want to hear. And all it's going to do is just suck you up. Wolves in sheep clothing. Come on, guys, wake up. Anytime when our people do something, we are helping these people to nail them to the cross. And right there, I showed you a picture. Right there, look at this picture, guys. They use all these images. They use that's our subconscious. So this right here, look at this picture of Queen Elizabeth wearing a brooch, guys, of a white angel putting their foot on our brother's neck. Where's the outcry? I remember when Prince Harry had came out, I think it was last year or the year before, when he was saying that his brother was fighting over Africa, saying that it was given to him. How can somebody else's country be given to you? Because they look at you guys as 1/5 of the human being. We fight over stuff that we shouldn't even be fighting over. Why these people are plotting overtime on us. And I know you guys don't want to hear this. Like I said, my channel is not for everybody. I can't sugarcoat. I can't tickle your ears. But it's time for us to tell our story. We are now, right now, in the book of Revelation. This is a new song, guys. And the only reason you can't hear because you have eyes and you cannot see, and you have ears and you cannot hear. Because you are so deaf and blind of the things of this world, and because of this lie that was told to you. Come on, guys, wake up. And I wish right here, so in a minute, when they start demonizing this guy, Ronald Dalton Jr., Hebrews to Negro, Wake Up America, we start demonizing him as well. I wish that Ronald Dalton and Jay-Z, I wish that they can hook each other together, start writing a real story. And I promise you guys, when they start writing the real story, demons gonna tremble. You guys going to be really shocked. And I pray to God that I will be able to witness that when we start telling our own story. Because our history just didn't begin with slavery. Our history goes back. We've been here for thousands of years or maybe millions of years. Without us, nothing exists. And we see it right now. Look at all the stuff that is happening right now in Africa. These people think they still entitled, still think they are privileged to something that is not theirs. How can you come in my house, sit at my table, and eat my food and make yourself comfortable? And I cannot eat at my own table. I can't make my own self comfortable where I have to have other people from the outside dictating how to use my resources, what's rightfully mine. Make it make sense. How can France have electricity and live a privileged life, but the people right there in Niger don't even have lights? They don't have the necessities, but yet we got people coming in the country getting all the resources. I don't understand that. In the 21st century, I don't understand that. And that's why the older generation got to die out. They got to die out. I was looking at CNN, Mitch McConnell, how this man was froze. I mean, couldn't even talk, couldn't even move. But yet the doctor's saying that he still can sit in the Senate seat. Make it make sense. Our own president can't even walk without falling or falling asleep. I think it should be an age limit. If you over 70 years old, no way in the world you should be in leadership position. It's time for these old folks, it's time for them to move aside and let this younger generation cross over. Because it's going to take the younger generation. Because this generation, they're not going to compromise. They're not going to be a bunch of sellouts. Everything else is going to be second in line. It's all about unity. It's all about loyalty. And I believe right now, this is what the Most High God is raising up. He's raising up a Joshua generation. Fierce. That will look the enemy right there in the eyes. And that's what we're looking for right now. It's time for the younger generation to get in position. And these old ones, they need to just go ahead and sit down. Like I say, when it comes to the Bible, guys, the Bible is not just pre-ancient stories. You just have to know how to rightfully divide it. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And we can keep going around and round and round, still in the wilderness. Still in the wilderness. Because we cannot sit there and take our eyes off of these people's stuff. We cannot shake off of that residue. We're just too comfortable. That's why we can call good evil and evil good. But the thing about it is, we fighting white supremacists on one hand, and we fighting our own people on the other hand. That's a lot, guys. Enough is enough. I mean, half of these people that's coming out making all these videos and trying to tear these people down just because they making an effort. At least somebody making an effort. If you put one foot forward, faith without works is dead. Why don't you do it? And just because it's not who you think should do it, then who should do it? Guys, we just got to stop. We have to stop. And like I said, guys, like I said, it is what it is. Because you cannot tell people how to tell their story. You cannot. And I believe we are right now, story right now as we speak. We are the living word. All we have to do is just open up our mouth. We thinking that it's going to be in a book. No. Do you think that the Most High God is going to make it that easy where he's going to put it in a book? Well, if he would have put it in a book, half of us not even opening up the book. We all going to be left behind if it was in a book. That's why he said the pen is fattened away, written on stones. It's written in your heart. The word is in your heart. All you have to do is just open your mouth. But we was told all these whitewashed lies. But now the truth is slowly but surely is finding its way back home. And that's real talk, guys. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. But it's time for us to tell our story. We'd allowed these people to tell our story and then whitewashed it, told these lies, wrote us out. But without us, nothing will exist. Nothing will exist. And you're about to see that very, very soon. Because what you thought was last, going to be first. That is dying out. And they know it's dying out. That's why they're out there seeking what they can devour, trying to cause so much havoc. Because they know that their time is already up. Their time is up. And it's going to be some of us right now where we're going to be left behind. We're going to be right there picking with the chickens. Because we like it in here. We like wallowing in our mess. It's like a dog going back into its vomit. Make it make sense, guys. How can we do that? I mean, anybody could come out with a story. Look at Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson made a movie, came out with a movie, The Passion of Christ. We broke our neck to go and make sure we go and watch that at every theater. Watch about 5 or 6 times. But we got our people right now was actually that's walking amongst us that it happened. We ain't talking about no Hollywood movie that was actually beat where all the flesh was off of their back, hunted down like dogs, tied to trees. And that's actually that happened. That's not a story. Like I said, guys, we got a long ways to go. Our people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. Like I say, the rabbit hole, yes, it goes very deep. But it's up to you how far you are willing to search for it because they're not going to hand it to you on a silver platter if that's what you think. But it's time for you to sit there and come out of her. Leave these people's stuff alone. When we see our people doing something, pray for them and help them. Don't sit there and make videos to talk about them. Because as you can see, I already showed you guys how they put their foot on our people's neck. They know who we are. They know who we are. Just look at this. And they whitewashed it. But this right here is the age of technology, guys. But you see, we're not questioning stuff like this. We're not going to question that like this. How they took everything about us, they took it all and whitewashed everything. Where they put a person that was a criminal, a big aura, all that stuff, syphilis, everything. I mean, this man had it, and we had it on our walls. And then we would have told our parents back then. I know my mom telling them back then, that's not Jesus. They would have been just like Florida Evans. You remember on Good Times? What we like we doing right now when Jay-Z came out with this coming out with this movie, call him blaspheming. Because all this stuff is in our subconscious mind, because that's how they had us thinking. But all that right there, guys, is what you call white supremacists. White supremacists. That's all it is, white supremacists. That's why we have to know how to rightfully divide the word of truth. He that have an ear, let him hear. Just look at it. I promise you, if you go and Google Jesus, you're going to see the same picture. And if you find who is that face, then you're going to see the story behind that. Why we don't have nobody going around saying we want to take this down, because that does not depict our Messiah. But the minute when we start seeing our brothers and them coming out making movies, or even saying that look, they are Messiah, they more closer to God than what you see right there. They are more closer to the image of the Most High God. So I'm not going to put my foot on them. They may be acting like they're not because they lost, but sooner or later, the Most High God is going to make it right, because our people been oppressed, depressed, been through a lot. All they just looking for something that they can say is mine. That's it. And now, like I said, we got a lot of billionaires. We got a lot of people that can set. We could come together, and we could start building, and we could start telling our story. But we got a bunch of knuckleheads. We got a bunch of people that's still on the plantation. Ask them, ask them to even quote a scripture in the Bible. They wouldn't even know it. But the minute when they see one of their brothers at least trying, oh, all of a sudden, they know scriptures. They quoting scriptures. Mm-mm-mm. Guys, come on, make it make sense. And like I said, I can't sugarcoat. I can't sugarcoat for no clicks and likes, guys. I can't. I got to call it like it is, because this is it. Either you're in or you're out. You're either hot or you're cold. But like I said, it's time for you to get off of the milk. It's time for you to start eating meat. Time for you to start getting up and start walking. Because as you can see right now, the enemy, honey, he's on his job 24/7, never slack. We are the only ones that's slacking, because we are busy bodies, nosy, long as drama, long as they got something that's going to distract us. We fine. Do something. I mean, my God, our people. Sometimes I sit there and say, we quick to say, "Oh, it's the white person, it's the white man." No, he don't have to do anything no more. It's already in our subconscious, it's already in our mind to tear each other down. I mean, the movie have not even came out yet, just a super tease, and yet we nailing the man to the cross. And we got Hollywood full of actors and actors, and not one thing said. We'll go watch Cleopatra. We know she was a black woman, but you never saw it on film, and we didn't sit there and make us think about it. But I promise you, If you make Cleopatra the way that we know she looked, black, melanated woman, queen, a melanated queen, we be the first one to say, crucify her. We will be the first one to put our mouth on. I'm not seeing that. Get that mess off. We be the first one to say that because that's the way we talk. That's the way we think. That's just to show you we still have a long, long ways to go. But like I said, when we should say something, we don't. But if you really want to go ahead and cut through some of the lies, start sitting there trying to get all this whitewash stuff taken down. If you know who your Messiah look like, then why are we sitting there seeing all this right here, everywhere? All these statues, all these images, all in our mind. I even saw a video, a YouTuber, where she had reported how a teacher was showing kids how gangsters look. All gangsters was black people. A teacher was showing kids in her class all the gangsters was looking like black people because they wants to put all that in our subconscious mind because they know once you put it, our kids gonna grow up thinking that they ain't nothing. They thugs, they thieves, they lazy. But we don't make videos about stuff like that. We don't cry about stuff like that. We only cry when we see that our people are waking up. Notice that our people can go and do all this old detestable stuff, ch- doing all these old nasty dances and uh changing, altering ourselves, and men sitting there acting like they breastfeeding and having babies. We don't cry about stuff like that. But when soon the minute when we start talking about waking our people up, who our people are, telling our people that we from Genesis all the way to Revelation, we are the book, we are the living book, then the first thing we're gonna say, crucify that person. But long as we sitting there buck dancing and giving you guys a show and entertaining you guys, nothing sad. Wake up, guys. Wake up. Don't you see that these people sitting there is working overtime in us? That's why in order for us to come out of this, what we have to do is we have to change that stinking mindset. And I have 9 more minutes. We have to change that stinking mindset because that's the only way. We have to renew that mind. I don't care how we say we're trying to come together and we can make a change. The only way that you can do all that, you have to change that mindset. That's the only way that we can be able to cross over. If not, we're going to keep going around and round in circles. We're going to keep going on until we change that mindset. But when we see our brothers, our sisters are doing something that is not hurting anyone, guys, support them. And if you don't want to support them, don't say anything about it. Because they are not doing no more than what you see is going on right now. I can show you some stuff. Look at 50 Cent, how he caught a tantrum just because his mic was not working. What did he do? He took his mic and threw it so hard into a crowd where it's bust a child's head right open. And it said just because our brothers can't control their anger. And that's why these people can work overtime on us. They know what makes us move, what makes us think. We got to stop being so emotional. We got to stop sitting there allowing any and everything to get the best of us. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So all I can say right now, guys, is that we just have to be careful of what we call good and what we call evil. We have to be careful of how we so quick to tear down one another. But we only tear them down when it comes to religion. That's the only time we try tearing each other down. And why? Why we could curse, we can talk about all types of stuff. But when we start talking about our faith, when we start waking up, why it makes people so angry? Why? Why it makes people so angry? Anybody got a question? Anybody can answer that? Why? When we start talking about our faith, when we start talking about who we are, when we start teaching our people, why it makes people so angry? That's the question. Why we what is we hurting? We're not hurting anyone. That's the question, guys. Because long as they can keep us asleep, long as they can keep rocking us to sleep, putting all that distraction, you thinking that some of these people, like a Beyonce and some of these big singers, you think that these people on stage making billions and dollars, how much they making? Some of these people put them there just to distract you, just to entertain you. These reality shows, half of these people not even living that life. I've been telling you guys from day one. That's why every time when I talk about reality shows, I try to pull it apart. Those people not about that life. Half of those people are faking it till they make it, robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're not living that life, because if they was living that life, do you actually think that these people would be on a reality show? Wake up, people. I've been telling you guys from day one. Even when it came to Boris, I was telling you guys. You think that Candy have all that money that they say? Even Candy, Boris has said, if you think I got $50 million in the bank, then that's what you think. Then okay, so be it. But they put those things in our face to keep us asleep, because they don't want us to talk about real issues that's really going on. How these people are sitting there taking everything that is not nailed down. How these people are working overtime on us. How these people are plotting how to keep their foot on our neck. Come on, guys. And like I say, this is not for everybody, guys. This is not for everybody. But he that have an ear, let him hear. Because it's time for us to wake up. No more of those hocus pocus lies. It's time for our to wake up. And the only ones that's going to do it is going to be the younger generation that's saying enough is enough. It's time for unity. It's time for us to come together. Long as we are fighting each other, these people are happy because they love when we divide it. Because they know when we come together, we will be a force to be reckoned with. Demons would tremble. We will put them to a run. But long as we divide it, long as we fighting, long as we focusing on all that foolish stuff, they can work overtime on us. But when we gonna wake up? When we gonna see When we going to move the blinders from our eyes? Guys, like I say, this is real talk. It can't get no real than this. It can't get no real than this. And I know that it's a lot of people that don't wants to hear this. But even I got to sit there and tell it to myself. Because sometimes you have to remind self. Because when you do something, it's you doing it because you know that you have a message. And not everybody is going to grab a hold to this, especially when it comes to our people. Only a remnant, a small remnant is going to grab a hold to it. Because we got so many people, like I said, they are blinded by the things of this world. If you really know how to rightfully divide the word, you will be shocked at half of the ones that you thought, trust me, it's not that, it's not it. If you really know how to rightfully divide the word, you will know. That's why I say, he that have an ear, let him hear. We have to learn how to rightfully divide the word. There's a lot of stuff that they told us when we was young, never to question. But there's a lot of stuff that they also tamper with. But the word is not going to be in the book. The word is going to be in your heart. And we are telling our story. So let our brother tell his story. We all have a story. We've been through hell and back. Who can tell it better than the ones that's been through it? They've been trying to tell our story, but our story to them, we at the bottom. As I showed you, they took our story, they ran with it. Look at it. Look at all the pictures. When you get off of this live right here, go look at all the pictures. How they took all the pictures, all the Ethiopian books, how they sat there and they revised it, took all the images, took it and whitewashed everything. But now the chickens are coming home to roost, guys. The chickens are coming home to roost. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close it. I done did my hour. Like I said, whatever I'm gonna leave you with right here is just like I said, some things we may not understand, but I don't believe that the Most High God is gonna allow it happen. He's not gonna allow it to happen without seeing us through it. So things that we may not understand, just be patient. I promise you, it's going to work out for our good. So on that note, guys, you all have a good night. And the ones that came on to support me, and the ones that's going to come on a replay, however you feel led, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, or share these videos for more unapologetic content. So, guys, on that note, you all be blessed.